In Donald Trump World 2.0, the term battleground state is about to take on a whole new meaning, and California is already stockpiling something in anticipation of going to war with him. No, it's not that, but I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. Before I share the unprecedented step that Governor Gavin Newsom, frequent Trump target, is taking to protect California interest against the Red Menace's overreach and extremism, let's first set the stage with a look at their relationship, the good, the bad, and the about to get ugly. Here's a compilation of context, including their scathing words for each other.
Governor Newsom and President-elect Trump have a complicated relationship. Publicly, they've attacked each other, but privately, they've also worked well together. Still on policy, they disagree on most of the big issues, and Newsom says he wants a battle plan for when the next Trump term begins.
Gavin Newsom.
At his rallies, then candidate Donald Trump often took aim at Governor Gavin Newsom.
You have one of the worst governors in the country.
And he's weakness masquerading as strength. He's a broken person. And you're seeing that. He's becoming increasingly, and it's remarkable to be able to say this because he's often graded on the curb, but he's increasingly acting deranged, unhinged, exuberant, just narcissism at another level, where people had to sort of stare at dear leader as he was dancing or zoning out. I mean, this is a profound and remarkable moment, and I think he's not meeting that moment, and he's becoming increasingly derivative of even himself, more and more, dare I say, boring as someone that has followed him closely. He's not as interesting either as he once was.
With great irony, I found that last clip on Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media platform. Well played, Governor Newsom, well played. But you know Trump is going to retain it under his thin skin and will seek some form of retribution. Meanwhile, let's continue with that interview as Newsom begins to lean into why the state of California is circling the wagons, and then I'll reveal the extraordinary step that was taken today.
I mean, what he's threatening as it relates to your state of California that does grapple with wildfires, that grapples with natural disasters, he's been threatening essentially to withhold funding and withhold assistance. Is that something within your government, within your team, you have to plan for and think about if he's elected?
Well, it's something I don't even, not only have planned for, I experienced. This is exactly what we experienced in the few years that I did work with him. I mean, this is not new. People need to understand this. We had to make calls. We had to grovel with the President of the United States, who personally needed a call to do the right thing for millions and millions of Americans. By the way, millions that actually supported him as well. He's the most un-American nominee in my lifetime. I mean, this is serious, serious stuff. He's becoming increasingly unhinged, and as the Vice President says, unstable. The unethical nature of him is next level. We experienced this, many governors, not just myself, and now he's just bloating out very much in the open and expressing himself in a much more transparent way. Wake up to that reality.
So what was the step that Governor Newsom took today to fortify California against the tyranny of Trump? This in-state report breaks it down.
Today, Governor Gavin Newsom and state lawmakers are starting a special session ahead of Donald Trump's inauguration.
Now, Newsom says he wants to, quote, Trump-proof the blue California, working on everything from tax rebates, immigration, and funding for lawsuits. CBS 8's Chris Grow explains why state lawmakers are bracing for impact from Trump's second term.
There's been this back and forth, and that even goes back to the first Trump term. But Governor Gavin Newsom wasted no time calling for this special session. The proclamation calling for it issued just a day after the election. In it, Governor Newsom cited the first Trump administration as proof for why it's necessary, saying lawmakers must, quote, protect California values. Now, today we learned one of the first items they'll get to will be to establish a legal fund that could be up to $25 million set aside for the California Department of Justice to use in courtroom battles over issues like climate change, abortion, immigration, and more. Governor Newsom has already announced that he would restart the state's electric vehicle rebate program if President-elect Trump ends the current federal tax credit. Now, as for reaction on Truth Social, President-elect Trump said after the special session was announced, quote, he is using the term, that being Newsom, Governor Newsom, Trump-proof as a way of stopping all of the great things that can be done to make California great again, but I just overwhelmingly won the election.
The experience with Donald Trump. Don't fall sort of pray to somehow this is some new day. Listen to what these guys are saying and telling you. Look at what they're prepared to do day one. We're not going to be caught flat-footed.
Now, the special session will run concurrently with the new session expected to start next year.
So there you have it. It's money for a legal fund that the governor wants to stockpile to repel Trump. And that also comes with a nice dose of irony, since the president-elect was so successful in killing actions against himself over the past 4 years by litigating them literally to death. I have a prediction for Donald Trump's upcoming term. I predict that resistance will be the word of the year in 2025, 26, 27, and 28. And in many ways, our Democratic governors will be the last line of defense. Newsom is already Trump-proofing California. Governor Pritzker of Illinois has pledged to protect vulnerable communities there from any adverse federal actions and is having discussions with other Democratic leaders on strategies to safeguard their states. And Governor Hochul of New York has launched initiatives to prepare for legal and regulatory challenges regarding reproductive and LGBTQ+ rights. And through their leadership by example, I see a time when it's going to be fashionable for individuals to fly their flags of resistance. So get those flags, t-shirts, stickers, and for the really committed, tattoos ready for action and reactions during the chaos to come.